U.S. intelligence agency mind control.
To some people, this is porn.
So Candace Owens is a Nazi.
Like the way like goblins get drawn in porn. They're all like thick short stacks.
You know, liking tweets about Jews growing fat on the blood of Christians, like full-on Nazi shit. No ambiguity. I don't even feel the need to argue this. It's pretty straightforward. So Candace Owens, as a consequence of being a Nazi, has been let go of the Daily Wire, which is run by Ben Shapiro, who is a Jew. That's
I mean, I really don't know which of these Nazis to support. They're both
Candace Owens
pretty
tweets,
good options.
I would like to debate Ben Shapiro on
Most
Israel and the
accurate
current
time that's ever been used.
definition of anti-Semitism. Can somebody make that happen? Now, Ben Shapiro is, of course, pro-Netanyahu, and he, you know, his infamous Arabs like to bomb buildings and live in sewage. Like, we know what his positions are on Israel and the Palestinians. Netanyahu is a fascist. Ben Shapiro is a fascist, whatever. But Ben Shapiro is, in addition to being a fascist, Jewish. So there are some people whose support of the Palestinians, like Candace Owens, are motivated much more by hatred of the Jewish people than they are any kind of actual anti-brown racism, support for Arabs, or whatever else.
And also,
Candace Owens doesn't give a shit
Jack
about
Hinckley is one of
Palestinians
them.
or anything Israel's doing. This is just another wedge that Nazis use to gain public appeal.
Yes.
So Ben Shapiro insufferably quote tweets rather than replies, making this all more
In
difficult.
another very, very similar trait to communists, Nazis also like to
quote tweet
inject themselves into and try and disrupt movements and groups and all of this shit. Just another of many traits that they share.
Difficult to follow. Sure, Candace, I texted you on the 29th of February. Already a classic debate mistake from Ben Shapiro here. That's not a real day, idiot. That's not a real day. Offering this very thing. Let's do this on my show this Monday at 5 p.m. at our studios in Nashville, 90 minutes live streamed. Great. We love our content. And Candace Owens says, guys, I know. Holy shit, really? Some of you have been around for 5 years and you can't tell? Jesus. I finally caught Vosh. He's been wrong about something. Please use tone indicators. No! Cure yourself. Anyway, Candace Owens says, I'm sure you can appreciate why I prefer to keep this off the Daily Wire platform, as well as the true reason why we were never able to make any discussion happen. Let's choose a neutral, trustworthy platform. I vote Patrick Bet David.
Oh my God.
Neutral of a platform.
Yes,
I think this guy,
please.
you know, and then back to Ben Shapiro. Candace, I can see why you'd want to hide behind a moderator, particularly one who said we should rename our company the Daily Jewish Wire just yesterday. No, one-on-one, Monday at 5 p.m. We can sit down and have a healthy debate like adults. We'll live stream it to Twitter and YouTube. Take it or leave it. The true reason you didn't respond to my offer to sit down with you and discuss these issues publicly or privately back in February, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about with regards to that. And this has 5,000 replies, 11,000 likes, aka he's getting mega ratioed. So there are a couple reasons for this. First of all, Twitter is packed full of Nazis, and people don't actually like Ben Shapiro that much.
Second of
I don't
all,
give a fuck because Twitter's not a real place.
move on, please.
You dislike both of them. Candace Owens is several times worse than Ben Shapiro.
I agree.
Ben Shapiro is a fascist, but you know, remarkably, there's a pretty wide
He's
range
less annoying.
within fascism.
He's very milquetoast when it comes to his fascism.
Yeah, she's
Unlike
less
his
annoying.
unlike the people that work for him, he's quite tempered.
Of how bad it can get. And Ben Shapiro is on a relatively light end of things. I'm not joking when I say that. You know, you've watched his content a lot. You saw his debate with Sam Cedar. This guy? Is this the super rich guy? Oh, is this the really, really,
Are you
really,
not value
really rich
shamed?
guy? That guy? Watch this clip in its entirety. 24.5-minute long video on Twitter. The rich podcaster from Miami.
Saying I am so happy the two of you guys are talking, as well as agreeing to do a sit down. Obviously, the detail is the challenge where we're going to figure out. Let me give you a couple things I want you to be thinking about. One, Ben, let me address your issue about what I said yesterday with the Daily Israeli Wire. I even said the Daily Jewish Wire. If you haven't watched the entire context of what I said, I'm going to put the link below. You can go watch the entire thing of what I said from the beginning to the end. I highly recommend you watch it. Secondly, why?
This guy is basically the exact same guy as Sam. What was it? Not Sam Bankman-Fried. Lexman? Sam Lexman? What's that guy?
Lex
What's the
Friedman.
guy?
You
Lex
almost got
Friedman,
it.
yeah. And that they're empty suits who have sold out any principles they may or may not have had so they can like grift by attracting the biggest possible people to them. They have no beliefs outside of that. None whatsoever. How self-aware is Ben Shapiro? I think he's more, I don't know. He's so embarrassing to listen to. It's hard to tell how
On what
self-aware
account
he
do
is.
you think?
Candace Owens is perfectly self-aware. It's just she's kind of like empty, except for the Nazism, I guess.
They're
He's a
still
big Ayn
sending.
Rand stand. In a way, this guy might be a better version of
Give it a
Lex
sec.
Friedman because at least this
I'll
guy
let you
has an
know.
ideology that he owns up to from time to time, whereas Lex Friedman will just sit down and like he will say or do anything that gets him near power. He's just a brown noser. That's it.
I think you have to know where my perspective is slightly different. Is I understand where you're coming from because I lived in Iran as a kid from the day I was born till 10 years old, where we were bombed.
This guy is not a fascist, Vosh. He's just an ANCAP guy. ANCAPs are fascists, every one of them.
Yep.
167 times in one day, 500,000.
Why do you think Ben Shapiro, I was listening, was really fucking speaking to an ANCAP and calling him conservative? It's because ANCAPs don't exist. They're just conservatives. Most of the time, fascists.
ANCAPs are people who
died
like
in
crypto scams.
Yeah, they're the people who either fall for or
NFTs.
go after or go in on crypto scams.
Ponzi schemes.
Yeah, they're dumb.
I was a Christian kid living in a nation where 98% were Muslim. We were afraid to talk about what we were all about. So I feel the pain of people living in Israel.
What does this have to do with you calling?
Honestly, kind of agree. Kind of agree. You could specifically target that audience, 100%.
Calling it the Daily Jewish Wire.
Okay.
And I fully feel the pain of some of the folks.
The memes have sent.
Okay.
Who are Christian folks maybe living in Palestine that don't agree with what's going on with Hamas. I understand both sides. And
those are the both sides. Christians in Iran
Oh my
and
God.
Christians in Palestine. Those are the two. That's the conflict. Those two people. Those are the ones who are fighting.
Why did you send me the video?
that's why I understand what Candace is saying.
I
and
didn't
I
mean
also
to.
understand why you have the
That's why I
position that
sent
you
it.
have. Having said
That's why I
that,
sent it twice.
there's a couple
right?
things I want you to be
I
thinking
wasn't
about.
sure if you could pull it up by itself because it attached to a video file.
Yeah.
So I sent it again just to be sure.
Sure. I'll try and pull that up.
Number one,
Didn't he say he was going to explain what he meant by Daily Jewish Wire? Has he done that? Did I blank out and miss it? Did I have a stroke? Didn't he say it was because that's an odd thing to say.
You are Jewish. I think you're
No, that's the 24-minute clip. I'm not watching that.
from Burbank, California, if I'm not mistaken, and you got 4 kids. I'm Middle Eastern, Armenian, Assyrian, born in Iran. I went to Glendale, California. And then we have Candace, who I believe is from White Plains, New York, with 3 kids.
Of course she'd be from White Plains.
We're all family folks, right?
That's so funny.
When we come down and sit down and have the conversation together, we're in America today.
What does that mean?
Oh, just bougie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hilarious. It's very, very, very funny. Okay.
Right? It's not. That's how. Do you know it's an acronym?
Yes, you told me. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, and it's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's
well,
much
I know
dumber.
one of it is entertainment.
Yes. But I know that value is only the first 2 letters. It's I can't even remember what it was because I was laughing at how dumb it was.
Someone might remember. Someone might
Okay.
know.
So this is my proposal to you, because of what's happened. At least
everyone there are only two kinds of conservatives. There are the conservatives that say nothing because they're trying to give space to more ideologically informed ones, and then you have the ideologically informed ones who are all neo-Nazis. That's it. Those are the only two conservatives now. There are yappers and then there are Hitlerites. That's it. And the yappers' job is
bro, you should have said there's yappers and then there's the clappers.
Liberal who has questions about modern whatever, now here you go, here you are, Lauren Southern, let's agree on stuff. I'm just a moderate liberal, but I agree whites in the West are being replaced. This
is
by
low-key
protracted effort by a secret group of
Destiny.
elites to display
Lauren Southern, because like Destiny did that with Lauren Southern. The best platforming of Lauren Southern is still drag, though.
Yes, he's so good.
My
so funny.
Yeah, that's true. I have questions about the elite cabal. I'm Dave Rubin, moderate liberal. Watch this clip in its entirety. It's 24 minutes.
Owens, go ahead. He makes the argument for censorship. He calls it something else.
Yeah, I forget the term. I have it in my phone.
But I don't even think he's using the term right. But he's basically like, justified reason for firing people when you built your identity and platform not be critical, because he has no problem being very critical of America.
Yep.
Critical of the left.
And I sent Rob another video of Ben kind of contradicting himself, but he's 100%.
They're taking issue with the firing of Candace Owens for being a Nazi.
100% right. Like what? And by the way, that's
who are afraid that the cancel culture is coming up for them. And cancel culture does exist. Okay, so what this results in very, very often is corporations looking to cram down a particular alien.
And they fired her. So that's just proof that he's a hypocrite.
Thoughts on this?
So I've been very open that I thought that the Daily Wire managed the whole thing with Candace in public. Just
when I was...
Why would you call this, watch this clip in its entirety? We're never getting an explanation for him calling it the Daily Jewish Wire. Loved his delivery on cancel culture does exist. Yeah, it's so tired, man. This shit gets so boring. Who watches this? Genuinely.
Level of weight and impact to say, boom, we're out of here.
We don't know, but all I can do is tell you what we've seen online. Here's what I can tell you. By the way, zero.
Joey Manarino says, just earned an entirely new level of respect for you. Wow. Remind me, is this the pissing into his own mouth armband Nazi, or am I thinking of a different guy? Wait, what? Is this that guy? Or am I thinking of a different one? No, that's Joey Salas? Joey Salads. That's right.
Joey
Okay, gotcha. This is a different kind of fascist. I don't remember which one. Conservative populist. I'm not a DEI hire. Yeah.
For public office.
Owen's relationship with the Daily Wire has been rapidly
deteriorating
deteriorating for a while now over anti-Semitism and the war in Gaza. She defended Kanye West when he posted that he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Owens responded the same day by posting cryptically, "No one can serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and money," with a response to something Shapiro said. Owens added a comment under his post in the exchange, "Christ is king." If anyone says Christ is king, by the way, Nazi. It's not even like whether or not it's a Nazi phrase or whether or not Christians can say it without being a Nazi. I've only seen
Christ
Nazis
is
say
king.
It,
you see how it's invoking
raising your arm up in a seat
above authority.
Yes. Yeah.
It's that's what you like. Or the Shah of Iran calls himself the King of Kings. Gaddafi did this as well, right? Ethiopia is another one that did this King of Kings shit.
Yeah. And it's gone.
Kyle isn't a gesture that only Nazis can make. Literally anyone can do it. Yet all the people who do it seem to be Nazis. So, I just think of it as like a Nick Fuentes thing. Christ wants you to lick cum of your roommates off the couch that you both share together, and little else. The king commands it. Last month, Owens' anti-Semitic comments grew more explicit. She claimed there was a sinister ring of Jews in Hollywood. In an online feud with a famous rabbi, she liked a post on Twitter asking if he was drunk on Christian blood again. Nick Fuentes was delighted. Man, can you imagine being Hitler and watching as your greatest soldiers in 2024 are a closeted gay trans twink, a black woman, and Kanye West, the most
you gotta
mentally
calm
ill
down,
human
honey.
being on earth ever in the great history of humanity.
Hilarious.
Truly legitimately though. Yeah, literally, it's not even a joke. Like they are the Christian anarchists, no king but Christ kind of goes hard though. I don't really think it.
No. You know what that is? That's a hierarchy. They're not anarchists.
Does, and I don't really think that Christ would have liked actually thinking of himself as a king. Like, I think the king there is allegorical, but when you actually say that, it's more like, you know, Christ owns you, because
Yeah,
that's what the king
exactly.
did with serfs. They
Yep.
owned you. It's kind of weird. The whole point is that he doesn't own you. You're a free soul that makes your own decisions. Bad translation. Yeah, it's what it implies.
That's why I kind of prefer a term along the lines of like "we are gods." You know, putting you at the same level, and like erasing that hierarchy altogether is probably a better way to do it. Obviously, that's not a great way to say it because people are and probably would manipulate a term like that to be like, let's kill everybody. We are
Yeah,
gods.
God complexes get to cult shit.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
why
don't,
I
I
like
don't
to like
recognize
keep away
myself
from them.
as a god. I don't
Mm.
like I just don't care. It's all nonsense.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
do me.
exactly. It's just like, just stop, please. Just don't.
Today. He would in the sense that he would be God. The whole point of free will on earth is that we're supposed to make our own decisions, which lead to our final judgment. You know, that doesn't really work. Jesus outright rejected being made a king. Yeah, it doesn't play. Call it a translation error. This whole article is about Fuentes. Jesus Christ. Undoubtedly, some of the backlash to Owens' firing came from people who are purely hateful and gleeful at sowing chaos. But the religious core of some of the backlash was visible in the response the Daily Wire's Andrew Klavan received after he spoke up against harassing Jewish accounts with Christ as king. When you use that phrase to mean God has abandoned his chosen people, the Jews, through which he came into this world incarnate, you are quoting scripture like Satan does in the Bible. You are quoting scripture to your purposes, and that to me is especially
Oh my
wicked.
god, these people are
You think
awful.
that Nazis are Christians? Andrew Torba, the CEO of Gab, and self-proclaimed Christian nationalist, responded in his newsletter. First of all, the Bible is very clear. God's chosen people are Christians, not unbelieving, Christ-rejecting Jews. Well, that's straightforward. The Bible isn't clear. They don't read the Bible. They don't care. They just want to give metaphysical emphasis to their fantasy holocaust. I swear there used to be a mask. There did used to be a mask. Holy shit, this article's long. Doesn't also include very much about the damn debate. What does the Jerusalem Post have to say about this? Every time Ben Shapiro debates somebody who's worthy, he either gets washed or bare minimum in a stalemate. Schultz continued. I've never seen him win a debate against someone who's educated in the matter. True! Daily Wire co-founder Jeremy Boring stepped in for Shapiro as Shabbat began and the latter could not respond to Owens and reiterated Shapiro's initial offer to do it on his platform one-on-one in Nashville with no ads in the video and no charge to watch it. No one cashes in. Owens replied saying she's in London and cannot commit to the Tennessee city, telling Boring that you have known for months I was going to be in London this week. Daily Wire employees were initially slated to be here with me, so publicly pretending.
My biggest thing here is like, why does anybody give a fuck? This is internal work drama. Keep it internal. You fucking clowns. You want to be a media company, and this is how you fucking have your PR.
They want to be they want to be right-wing Disney, bro. Haven't you seen their ripoff of Bluey Dog? That's chinchillas instead. I think who's the one guy? Oh my god, who's weird? The actor who's weird, who loves them.
All of them? I don't know.
No, the Adam Sandler actor. The guy who's in Adam Sandler movies, who's over there.
There's 5 or 6 of them.
No, this is one guy who's literally on Daily Wire.
Oh,
and will come in and like be on their shows all the time to talk his nonsense.
I have no idea. I've never seen that. To be completely honest, I couldn't even tell you most of the Daily Wire people.
No. They're not like they don't work for the Daily Wire. They're just like a friend of the Daily Wire that they appear on. They come on
I have
a
no
lot.
idea.
But they're an Adam Sandler
no idea.
Friend actor.
The fat one?
No.
The one that always does accents?
Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah. I think he plays one of the Chipchillas in their Bluey Dog ripoff show.
That's disappointing.
Are you trying to climb up there to fight? BB.
You guys are not aware of this seems odd, but said she can do the debate virtually. Okay. Did Boring even say when the debate would be in person? How does that conflict? Boring responds saying he didn't know Owens' travel schedule, but the Daily Wire doesn't need to be
trying to start
involved
a
at all,
fight?
whether it's their channel, studio, or crew, but they will not agree to have a moderator or do it virtually. Owens accepted. That they will not agree to have a moderator or do
You
it
think
virtually.
he can just
Okay,
hop
so
up
it is going
there?
to be in
You think
person
that's
then.
an angle
Why
that
is the
works
dude's
for
name
you?
boring? Yeah, the thing here is that it's unfortunate, but Ben Shapiro is basically guaranteed to get washed on this because, again, all the people who are interested in this debate, the people who are actually invested in this
As
beef,
the
are
Nazis.
Nazis and will
Yeah.
side with Candace Owens. You know, the broad also Candace Owens is taking the technically correct position here in the context of Israel-Palestine, right? Whether or not it's being motivated by her being a Nazi, if she's arguing in the defense of the Palestinian people, that is a position for which there is much more weight and momentum, even if it's being motivated by anti-Semitism. She's not though. No, I know, but that's the position she's arguing from. Is this even going to be about Palestine? I would say best case scenario is that Ben Shapiro does a good job not getting angry, and Candace Owens lets the mask slip in a way that makes it impossible for even some of the more like open Nazis to defend her, I guess. Or the really open ones would anyway, but you know, she fucks up in some way. What I think is more likely is that Ben Shapiro gets flustered and angry because Candace Owens keeps dropping over and over and over again, like coded anti-Semitism. And Ben Shapiro does that, like, wait, you can't say Christ is king. That's an anti-Semitic dog. You're signaling against my Judaism. You remember? And like doesn't do a good job of responding to it, and it just makes him end up looking bad and ends up being a huge dub for Nazis. Kind of, she can't use good pro-Palestine arguments. Her position should lead her to support the ethno-state. That's irrelevant because Nazis will constantly say stuff that doesn't gel with their broader positions. She doesn't have to make a consistent argument, nor will Ben Shapiro hold her to it, because if he did, he would have to acknowledge how bad Israel has been in this conflict. It's a pretty unwinnable debate from Ben's perspective.
That's
at least
actually
not in like a direct
that's honestly
sense.
a pretty good analysis of what's going to happen with this debate if it happens. It's just going to be a shit show. Nobody's going to win.
What should he go for? Bad boy or intellectual? I think he should show up shirtless, you know?
I think he
Really
should show up shirtless.
Okay, guys, I'm going to take the doomer position, and my guess for what's going to happen is that Candace Owens is going to spend 90 minutes just unrepentantly dog whistling about Christianity defeating Judaism or whatever, you know, just old style anti-Semitism. She's going to say that Netanyahu drinks the blood of Christians, but there's going to be one quote she says where she defends Palestinian people, and that's going to go viral on lefty Twitter, and all of the ambiguously progressive anti-American, anti-Israel types are going to be like, yo, based Candace Owens? Yo, even Candace Owens is waking up, because she's going to say something like, you people have been mistreating the Palestinians for too long, or whatever. or she's going to repeat like a Kanye argument. She's going to be like, and you can't deny that a certain group of people have been holding black men down in Hollywood, huh? And then all the lefties are going to go like, yo, Candace woke. She knows she left the Daily Wire. She can speak her mind and be progressive. So yeah, that's my guess.
I think he's probably not far off what would actually happen, to be completely honest.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?